Arvada's history is steeped in milestones and fun facts. Lewis Ralston's discovery of gold in 1850. The town's early reputation as celery capital of the nation. Yet chances are we wouldn't know about those achievements were it not for an organization celebrating its own milestone, the Arvada Historical Society. In 2012, it turned 40.
Today we have approximately 450 members in total, about 400 individuals and about 40 or 50 businesses.
We have many, many members who are here for hands-on and help with our events, bake for our events. And so I just think that so many people found a niche, plus they wanted to make sure that Arvada's rich history survived.
The Society has accomplished that and more, creating a legacy of its own. Arvadan Lois Lindstrom, a teacher, historian, and author, is credited with getting the ball rolling.
She would ask questions about the history of Arvada, and nobody had any answers for it. You know, why is it called Ralston Creek? Why is it called Wadsworth Boulevard? And so she did a lot of that history searching herself.
In August 1972, the Society took on its charter members and got to work. They interviewed residents, gathered photos, artifacts, and other important documents about the city's foundations.
It takes us back to when Arvada was platted in 1870, and so with Benjamin Wadsworth and Louis Reno gave a beginning for the establishing of Arvada, particularly Old Town, as a center of the population when it was primarily a farming community.
Within its first few years, several books were penned, including Lindstrom's, detailing the first documented gold strike in Colorado, right here in Arvada. And members say the Historical Society planted the seeds for one of Arvada's greatest assets.
The Historical Society's first major success was the Arvada Center. And the Arvada Center began because Lois Lindstrom felt we needed a museum here in Arvada to display the artifacts of our farm life. And the next thing you knew, the project snowballed and it became ultimately the Arvada Center.
Inside the Arvada Center, you'll still find the History Museum, complete with a cabin from an Arvada settler. Charter member Bill Ashton has direct links to Old Town's history. His dad owned an auto service company and a car dealership on Old Wadsworth. And Ashton was instrumental in another of the Society's accomplishments, preserving the historic flour mill.
When we first got involved with it, the Old Town area was still technically, by the city's standard, a blighted area.
The Arvada Flour Mill, due to those efforts, was the first property in Arvada to be placed on the National Register of Historic Places.
Today, the Society offers tours of the recently refurbished structure. Ironically, for decades, the Historical Society had no structure of its own to call home. But in recent years, the Macavoy House filled that void. No one knows better what a difference it has made to have a place to call home than fourth-generation Arvadan Mary Jo Giddings, who was president of the Society when it moved into Macavoy.
Our archive materials were in people's basements and garages.
And I was here working the day we moved in. People came in with boxes and boxes of stuff. So we can now display all of this history. We can bring people in and talk about the times and the events and the people that created Arvada, made it into what it is today.
The Macavoy House itself is a piece of history.
This house belonged to Dennis and Clemency Macavoy, and they built it back around roughly 1897, I believe.
The house and land where Macavoy Park now sits was deeded to the city, which refurbished it and offered the lower portion to the Historical Society. It's open to the public for tours, which current Vice President Nancy Young loves to share. And it provides a central location to continue archiving and researching, a passion that one of the Society's youngest members has already pursued for 5 years.
I work in the archives back here, a beautiful place filled with all the old documents and all the old photographs. I help catalog, I help digitize and scan our collections, and I help us grow.
Like other society members, Prithero, now a student at University of Denver, is a research hound who's found his niche here. He's been instrumental in documenting Ralston Cemetery on Arvada's west side, leading it to be accepted onto the Colorado State Register of Historic Properties.
It was almost like a calling. I documented it with my family, and there was something about the cemetery that I wanted to learn more. And so I did, and I kept on growing in knowledge about the cemetery and the land surrounding the cemetery.
With 40 years of hard work under its belt and much of Arvada's early history documented and preserved, the future for the Historical Society still holds a vast amount of Arvada's past to explore. The Historical Society stays very busy with oral histories, 4 entertaining annual teas, maintaining biographies on more than 1,000 Arvadans, cataloging photos, giving tours of the Macavoy House, the Flour Mill, the historic Old Town walking tour, annual storytelling tours of the cemetery, and so much more. It is always in need of volunteers. If you'd like to become involved, give the Arvada Historical Society a call at 303-431-1261 or go online to arvadahistory.org.